we are moving for the next session. So next session is about AWS automation using Boto with Python. Saranya, Babu will be taking care from here.
Sure. Hi everyone. I'm Saranya, QA Senior Consultant in ThoughtWorks. I have around 7 years of experience across various domains in testing. Okay, today we are going to see about how we can automate AWS service, which we can include in our integration tests. So I have taken a very simple use case. The use case which is going to be like we will upload a CSV file in S3, and we are going to trigger a job, and that job performs the operations like converting the data from CSV to DynamoDB, which loads the data to the DynamoDB. All these operations we are going to automate with the help of Boto3 library. Okay, so the prerequisite for these things, like we need Boto3 and pip3. Pip3 is like a Python package manager, which helps us to include or remove packages which are not coming by default in Python. So, and as well, we need a Boto3. Boto3 is AWS SDK library in Python. Sorry. Okay, I have it already in my system. Anyways, I will show to you. So the first step, we have to install the Boto3, and the next step is like we have to create an user. So this user we are going to add to access our AWS service through the code. So I am creating an user. I'm giving a name as Digital. I'm giving a programmatic access to this user. And here I am copying the permissions from the existing user. This user is a administrator user, which already has administration access to all the resources like S3 and DynamoDB and Glue. So we are just going to create an administrator user. This step is optional. So now we have created a user. I guess my voice is audible.
Yes, Saranya.
Okay. So now we have created an user which we can use that user for our programs. So this is the access key ID and secret access key for this particular user. Okay. The next step we are going to use is like we have to configure this AWS user. So to configure this AWS user, we have to install this AWS CLI command. This AWS CLI is like we have to we can access this AWS from command line interface. So for that we have to install AWS CLI. So the next step we are going to do is configure the user which we have created now in IAM. For that we have to give AWS configure. So access ID, we can copy it from here, and secret key. So by default, I'm giving the region as AP South -1. This is a Mumbai region for this AWS. And output format by default, I'm giving it as a JSON. So we can view this AWS file. This is the thing which we have configured now. Okay. So we will see what's the next step. So okay, I'm just giving you an overview of the 3 of the services which we are going to focus on. The S3 is like of data. And whenever we say like a huge amount of data, we are also concerned about security and the performance as well. In that case, S3 is like more secured, and as well as it's more 99.9% available. And my internet says it's slow. Please stop me if my voice is not clear. And as well, we can secure the data with the help of IAM policies. Like we can mention like whoever can read the data, whoever can see the data. So we can have those restrictions in S3. And similarly, like it is scalable up to 5 TB, and we can have a single file size like up to 5 GB. So it is always recommended to have logs, audios, videos in S3. In a nutshell, we can say that S3's bucket acts like a folder. So and I'm going to explain you with very simple scenarios. I have just taken 4 simple scenarios, how we can create a bucket using Boto3, how we can search it for a bucket, and we can upload a single file, and how we can upload multiple files. For that, I'm going to explain you with the help of Jupyter Notebook. I have created a Python file here. So now we will see how we can create a bucket. So first step, we have to import the Boto3 file, Boto3 library, sorry. And next, we have to create a bucket. So Boto3.resource. We are going to use S3, and we have to create an object for it. So we have created an AWS resource object to access this S3. So the next step we'll do is we're going to create a bucket. So it's not required to have the syntax in mind always. Like we can refer in the Boto3 documentation, or if we give Shift tab, we will get to know the syntax of it, syntax of every method. Let me give the bucket name as digital. Okay. So now we have given a bucket name. So let me store that again in a variable. Okay. So the next step, we are going to add policies for this bucket, like it's going to be a private bucket, or it's going to be a public, or read write access, or just only read access. Like that, we are going to have it add a access control policies. So bucket dot create. Now I am going to create a private bucket, and I am going to the configuration says location constraint. This location constraint is optional if we have configured the location in our user file, the one which we did using AWS configure, right? So it is optional if we have given over there. So now we are have created a bucket with the policies. Let me just add the response, and we'll try to print the response over here. Okay. Okay, just me check. What is the error? Location consent. Okay, it's a spelling mistake. Sorry about that. Yeah. Invalid bucket name. The specified bucket name is not valid. Okay. Maybe I will give vodka. Okay. So now let us print the response. There are constraints in having that bucket name. Like a bucket name, it's not required to. It's not only to be unique in your logging. It's to be unique in the entire region. That's the thing we have to keep in mind. So the bucket has created. Now we can check in the S3. Let me refresh it. Oh, I have given it the name is vodQA. So a bucket has created with this it as a private. So the objects can be objects within that bucket can be public, but this bucket is a private one. So the first scenario we are looking for is like create a bucket. Our job is done. So next one is like we are going to display all the buckets in this particular profile. Okay, let me delete this. So now I am going to display all those buckets within this particular profile. Buckets. So this gives a list of all the buckets. Maybe will just add how many buckets we have. Learn is a method to help to display the number of the buckets we have. Okay. Okay, so it's saying 11 buckets. So we do have 11 buckets over here. So the next step, we will display the names of every bucket. It's the same like for bucket name in AWS resource dot buckets dot all. We will print the name of it. Bucket underscore name in AWS. So bucket. Okay, sorry, I have missed one. So now we have displayed all the bucket names we have here. Okay, and the next step we will see like it's going to be the first step of our use case. Like we are going to upload a file in S3, right? So that's the scenario we are going to see now. Upload a single file. So so for that, so far like for the above two examples, I have created an object for resource method in S3. Now I am going to use a client method. So to access every AWS service, like we can access either through client or a resource. So maybe I will give you the high level difference in a while. So for now, I am using Boto3 dot client of S3, and again I am going to create an object for it. Next step, we will upload a S3 dot client dot upload file. So we can see the what is the signature syntax of it. So I'm just taking the path of the file name which we are going to upload. this is the file name which we are going to upload and to which bucket we are going to upload. So this is going to be a vodQA hub. And the next step, like it's just a display name, how we want to display those file name. I'm just mentioning as somewhat fruits or fruits, it's enough. I'm just uploading. So if I'm just refreshing and I will show you. So within this, now we have a CSV file uploaded here. So we will try to access it. So it says it's private. So if you want to access, we should make those as a public file. So I'm just making it as a public. So if we try to access now, so it gets downloaded. So it's just a simple CSV file I have uploaded in the bucket, and we are going to process these data and load these data into DynamoDB. Okay, we will go one by one. Okay, so we have seen this scenario as well. We have uploaded a single file. There might be a scenario where we need to upload multiple files, whatever the files within a folder. So we will see an example for those as well. So to access the file system objects, like to access a folder, we need one more library. It's called Glob, GLOB. So we will import that library also. And here also I'm going to use the same client method. And the next step, let us try to retrieve all the files within the particular folder first. So for that, glob. And again, let me take the path for those. Okay. So this is the folder, top 5 folder. Within that folder, I am going to upload only JPEG files. So let us first see what are the JPEG files we have within this particular folder. So let me display it. Okay, so we have 3 files, 3 JPEG files within the particular folder. We are going to upload it to the S3 bucket, which we have created just few minutes before. Now it's the same, it's going to be the same. So we are going to upload every file using the upload method. Okay, now it's going to be file and the path of this file name, and the second where we are going to upload it's vodQA. And the display name, I just want to give it as a download.jpg, download1.jpg. So I am splitting those file path of the file in with a separator, and I am fetching the last value. So download1.jpg, download.jpg. I'm going to just fetch those, and I'm going to upload this every file into our bucket. Okay, let's see whether it got uploaded. Yes, it's done. So we have all the 3 JPEG files got uploaded in our bucket. So let me go to the presentation again. So we have planned our intent to is like to upload a CSV file, and we have seen some other few scenarios like how to create a bucket, how to find a bucket, and how we upload more than a file. So it's done. So as I said earlier, like we can either access S3 or Glue or DynamoDB resource either using client or resource method, but there are high level differences. like client helps us to access those at low level, but resource gives at a high level. And one more difference is it returns in a dictionary value, and it returns as an object value. I will explain you with a simple example. So it's the same like we are fetching the content. We are fetching the content within a bucket. So I have created using a client method, client object here, and within a single dot operation, we retrieve all the results we have we wanted. But if we use the same, if we going to create a resource object, we have to drill down more than one dot operation, like my bucket dot objects, again a dot, and all. So only we will get the results what we wanted. So when so that we are saying like client helps us in at a low level, and resource gives at a high level object. So this is a basic difference. So if suppose like if we start our code with the resource object, and we can convert that resource object to client object using a meta method. So it says like resource dot meta dot client, we can convert a resource object to a client object. And one more difference is like we don't this resource method won't support all the AWS service. So it's limited to few of the AWS services. So it's always better to go with a client method. This is a basic difference between the client and the resource. So and the next step is like we are going to create a job using Boto3. Let me go to Glue, AWS Glue. Okay, so this one I cannot explain you in a Jupyter notebook every single step. So I am explaining you in the code itself. And as well, I will open DB also. Sorry. Okay. So this is the job. This is the functionality of the job. What it does is like it's read every row in the CSV file, and it adds a record into a DB. So what we have done, like what I have done, like we have created a client object for S3, and I have created a resource object for DynamoDB. So I have there is a table called fruits. Maybe I will show you here. So we have a table named fruits. So maybe I will delete all these records, existing records. We'll see. Okay, so we have a table named fruits. So, I'm going to access those table. So like here, I'm going to access the CSV file which we have uploaded. And again, I read every row within those CSV file. And I'm going to add those into DynamoDB. So it's the table.put item helps us like adding a record, and we are mapping those values to respective columns in DB. So this way we have added, this is the functionality of the job. So we are going to execute this job also in Boto3. Maybe we will see here. So this is the job. So what we are going to do is like, again, it's same like we have created a client object for this Glue service, and we are start job run is like we are triggering the job. So when we are triggering the job, we will get a response. So in that response, we will have a job run ID. So within that job, will get to know the status. So we can see here. So when we are triggering a job, we will have a job run ID. With the help of job run ID, we will get to know the status of the particular job. So it's the same we are doing in a code. So, for every, once I triggered, started the job, I am for every 30 seconds, I am trying to get the status of the job. Like once the job gets succeeded, it's passed, it quits. No, it quits from the code. So I'll execute here. Job execution. Parallelly, we can see those here. Status of the job is running. Yeah, see, it's here running. We have triggered it. Yes. So status of the job is succeeded. So if we see here, yes, it's succeeded. So we can see in DynamoDB. Yes. So earlier I have deleted those data. So once I triggered the job again, it fetches all the data from CSV and load the data to DynamoDB. So it's the same like we have created, maybe I can explain you again. Like, so we have created a object for this glue service, and we are triggering the job, and after that we are trying to get the status of the job, and every 30 seconds or like that we are getting the job status, and we are get to know the status of the job, whether it is succeeded or not. Okay, so into our presentation, like we have done so far, we have created a bucket, we have uploaded a file, and again we have created a job in Boto3, and we have triggered the job using Boto3, and we have loaded the data to DynamoDB. Now we are in the last step. So we can see we are trying to see whether we can read the data from DynamoDB using Boto3. Okay, so this is going to be a very simple step. We are creating a resource object for DynamoDB, and we are accessing the particular table, and we are scanning those tables, and we are reading all the items and displaying it. Yes, it's done. Like we have displayed all the items present over in the table. So so we are done with our entire process. So it could be like a basic step, but it would be easy, it will be helpful for the novice users who just started with our adding integration test for your AWS. So definitely it will be helpful. So it's not required to have or remember all the methods available, or what are the steps we have to get to know. So all these are documented in the Boto3 library. We can easily understand those steps and methods. I think it definitely will be helpful for novice users who just started AWS. So if do you have any questions, please post in that Q&A chat.